Bruce Walter with Unilock Midwest. I'm here today to discuss kind of a new opportunity. It's what we call the wall alignment system for U-Cara. So the last 2 years we've had the U-Cara system, and I think this is just a new opportunity for installers and designers and salespeople to take advantage of it. It's an easy component system. It's a two-part system here, and hopefully you can see in our monitor. This is the alignment part, all right? It is made out of galvanized steel. Our fabricator that we chose to fabricate this uses the same process in galvanization on guardrails that you would see along the expressway. You're going to notice 3/16 holes punched every 3 inches in elevation. And this is going to marry up along to the backers themselves. So if I'm doing a U-Cara system and I come to this wall mount system, all my joint lights are going to now fall in line. But this is a critical component because it's going to hold basically the U-Cara rail system here. All right. Again, what you're going to notice is 3/16 holes punched on this galvanized rail. It's an 8-foot long strip. Comes in packs of 10. All right, which we have right here. Now, you're going to simply align holes here on the system and apply fasteners. So we'll discuss this a little bit during the installation technique. Tools that you're going to need. Pretty simple tool accessories. That's what we normally have in the trailer. Potentially a grinder, some way to cut your metal, all right? And then the hammer drill, obviously for concrete applications and masonry applications. But when it comes to application to the wood veneer too, potentially you might want to get an impact gun or something like that, cordless gun. But not a lot of extra tools necessary here to do your installation. All right, I first want to discuss with you installation to concrete substrates, right? A couple of things with concrete. Here, you're going to notice this fastener in the detail here, and I want to key in a little bit more on fasteners basically here. All right. Also with concrete, we're going to say use your fastener system, mechanically hold that rail up, your fascia panels, but also use an adhesive. All right, so here in this detail, you're going to notice a bead of adhesive, and I've got another slide later on to kind of show you that in application. Let's key in a little bit now on fasteners over concrete. Typically, when you put a fastener into concrete, you look at the application of tab-cons. Well, in our research, we kind of had some questions in regards to tab-con application. Again, these are 3/16 screws, 1 3/4 inch, but in our research we found that a Titan 2 by Simpson is actually going to be a better fastener, all right? For the reasons here, specifically this bottom number here, 224 pounds. So that is a number related to the pounds that it would take to shear the screw off, all right, or pull it out. So based on those two factors, one screw will hold 224 pounds. Now in an 8-foot long rail, with fasteners at every 16 inches, I apply 7 fasteners to that. That, with 7 fasteners into concrete, will hold 1,500 pounds. Now, if I look at the weight of a 6-inch panel, 5 panels across to fill up my 8-foot length, I have about 108 pounds of material on that. So I'm well within the parameters of that. All right. I also like the coating available to it. Now, I do have a little fastening board here that I'll bring forward for you. You're going to notice again, this is a tab-con here, all right, on your left, and this is the Simpson screw here. So it's about 20 to 30% more in pricing at the box stores, but the value I think is really here. Because my issue with tab-cons is when we go into concrete, we snap that head off quite a bit, all right? So when using these two, I definitely want to give a best practice or a recommendation to this Simpson 2. You're going to notice a better coating, more material right underneath the head, so I incur less fractures when I do use this as a concrete fastener. All right, let's go over the installation right now. Start with shooting our elevation here, all right? I like to work from the top of the alignment strip, all right? So I'll apply this at grade. I don't want to have any cuts here at the top, so this is my set number. If it's a wainscoting application at 3 foot, whatever it might be, I like to have my numbers here set to the top height, all right? So identify that top height here at one point, My second elevation is going to be transferred over to an opposite end, where at that point I can apply a chalk line. Now this level chalk line is going to allow me to align all of my alignment bars, all right? So at the top of that, I'll be able to align those correctly. All right, on the alignment strip itself, it's important that you plumb that first one up, okay? So when I come to an application here, all right, my first piece is going to be on center, all right, against the 8-foot alignment bar, but I want this first piece plumb. If I'm not, and I'll exaggerate a little bit here, if I'm out of plumb, that tightens up my bond along the fascia panels that I'm going to apply. So it's important that you plumb your first one. Everything else is a matter of aligning the holes, so it'll simply go together quickly after that point. All right. Here's my plumb mark for the application of that, and then all I am is entering my Simpson 2 Titan screws, okay? So basically going through both components, the alignment, the vertical feature, as well as the horizontal rail themselves. Again, these are hex head screws, all right? 3/16 by 1 3/4 is a common application type for it, or potentially longer if you deem necessary. Okay, a couple of things here. On gaining elevation, all right, if you will, it's a simple application where on the alignment strip, I'm simply gonna take my existing piece, that top hole, and align the next course over. So simply by this alignment feature here on these two holes, basically one fastener is going through the rail as well as these two alignment strips, all right? Again, I'll plumb this single feature here, all right? But easy to install when I want to continue further north. A couple things worth mentioning here. I want you to take notice of this area here. This is a demo area that we first worked on when we began to bring this to fruition. This is an area where we've got some spalling concrete. And that's kind of common with some of the existing substrates that you'll have with concrete masonry, right? So we're not too concerned. Remember, all of those numbers that we talked about on the engineering, that we can hold 1,500 pounds of fasteners, even though we're actually only applying 108 pounds. So through that, if I don't have great substrate penetration into this area here, I'm not too worried about that. Again, because I'm going to bridge over that. A couple other things that you see with concrete. Form seams, all right? I've got one here, and hard to see along that, adjacent to that rail, that alignment bar there. But I'm not too concerned about that unless I've got 1/4 inch or more, all right? So certain applications when we're going over concrete, what you're going to notice is it's got the ability for some flexibility to it, all right? If we want to continue further east and west, if you will, all right, along the horizontal plane, I will continue to, again, adjust my alignment bars, but here when I'm going to connect one to the other, I'm going to have my U-Cara rail, the existing piece, and then I'm going to overlap this one here. So here in this area here, I've got that kind of application going as well, where one piece just overlaps the other. Okay. And here's an installation, but do notice that not only are we relying on the mechanical fasteners to hold up the system, we're applying a bead of adhesive in the center of that U-Cara fascia panel, all right? So again, real easy to install. Fasteners we're going to recommend on the alignment bar 32 inches on center. However, fasteners are going to be at 16 inches on center. Well, let's talk about different applications with this, all right? What we've seen just in this last year. This is one about logistics, all right? So contractor comes into this area, existing concrete wall. Yes, he can do demolition to remove all of that. Now logistics on this one were really kind of unique because all the material had come in and out of basically the residence itself, all right? But even if there was a gate right here, if you can avoid having to do all the demolition on the concrete or an existing structure like that, absolutely, that's going to be the way to go to save labor, okay? So here what he's done, the homeowner requested a little bit higher elevation on that, so he ran some CMUs to back that material up, all right? And then he did the wall system here in front of that. So finished product right there. So that one really keys in a little bit on if you have an existing structure, you don't necessarily need to do demolition. Now what to me that represents, if you're an owner or a salesperson, right? Key to success in the hardscape industry is generating a contract, a signed contract, but not being the low bidder. So solid workmanship, all right, and creative ideas. So if you come up with a creative idea in front of a homeowner, potentially that gets you that job. And that's kind of the cool thing. All right, here's one here. This is an existing planter wall that we're building our vertical features into, but yet now we're tying it into existing structures here. All right, so here's a retaining wall to support the soil on this backside area here, but here in the front now we're tying basically the structures into the landscape features that all of you are building currently. And again, nice finished picture, but integrating this existing concrete exterior wall of that pool with the planters that we're building, all right, out of the U-Cara Wall System. Okay, this one keys in a little bit more on the concrete, all right? Basically here it's a stair system that he's veneering on this application, but he's got some concrete undulation, all right, some in and out going on. So he's going to come with a single rail basically to support and anchor on his riser, all right? Here again, some of the concrete, we've got some in and out, especially on steps. Steps can be a little tricky, all right? So basically a nice finished product line. The other thing too, he secured that riser panel in. So for that riser to break bond at all, it's not gonna really happen because it would have to elevate over that rail and therefore push coping up, which isn't gonna happen. So he's definitely anchored everything in here. Water's going to enter in on the seams on the ledgestone step, all right, on his tread, but it's not going to impact the bond at all on that single rail system. Okay, talk a little bit about some masonry structures, okay? So existing structures here, this is an application here where instead of doing any type of demolition or removal on that, he's just simply coming in. A couple things. Again, I like to start at the top, all right, and work my way down. I can cut any of the material or bury the material at grade, all right? So I do like to start full piece with the alignment strip up on that top area and work my way down. All right, now's where it gets really cool. When you're building your landscape features and your vertical elements and tying that into the structure. So now we're starting to look at some applications here that are pretty sweet. Here's a 3.5 foot exposed foundation wall. It's contractor shop. He's got the seawall out there out of the U-Cara system, all right? But yet he's tying that in, all right? So if you're in sales or you're in front of a homeowner, you have the opportunity to develop and introduce this idea of your skills, all right? Does that necessarily get you the job? I think, quite honestly, yeah. You know, it's a unique enough opportunity at this point to take advantage of. All right, here's the contractor's residence here that he's applying the veneer system to. He's got a concrete foundation wall, even though it's supported by styrofoam. It's a styrofoam block, basically, for his foundation wall. So he's just introducing screws that are a little bit longer to get through the foam into that concrete, but still a concrete application, okay? All right, but again, recognize the opportunities here. So he's done the veneer application, which is an opportunity, all right, in its own right. But yet when he comes in with his landscape features in the spring, he's gonna wrap pillars here, he's gonna create planter boxes and really bring this building, this structure to life. So one now supports the other, whether it's the architecture on the building that supports your vertical features or vice versa. So kind of a nice little application, all right? In that regard. So again, the stoop will all be in U-Cara, all right? And he's gonna do a pillar wrap both off of those posts. Okay, now one thing that I wanna key in a little bit is wood substrate. While we recognize the opportunities that a walkout basement might have for concrete, all right, veneers, you're also gonna see that potentially on front stair systems where you have exposed foundation wall, all right? So those are certain opportunities that apply to concrete. However, wood substrate is a little bit of a different animal. all right? I'm gonna move this card out of the way, bear with me. Most residential construction basically is this: a framing member. Here we got a 2x4, 2x6, could even be metal. We'll discuss that in a little bit, all right? But then a moisture barrier, a house wrap paper, if you will, a tie back, all right? So level of sheeting with that over it. But the important thing to know is that if you're presented with that, you're gonna apply all these fasteners and pretty much eliminate that moisture barrier, okay? So how are we going to deal with that? Well, that's one of the things that we want to key in here a little bit. All right. Barrethane. This is a better, if you have anything to do or anything to say with the construction of it, this is barrethane right here, and it's a rubberized coating. So, all right. So basically, what that is, what benefits it'll have is it's more self-healing. All right. So when I enter into this rubberized coating, then that gives me the opportunity to self-heal against moisture. The last thing we want is moisture entry into your sheeting here, if not even into the residence itself, okay? So certain applications like pool rooms, 3-season rooms, all right? This is a good opportunity to kind of take advantage of the wall mount system, all right? Hey. So barrethane is the one that is the material that I think is going to best represent it. It's a roofing compound basically found often at roofing supply stores, all right? So readily available, easy to apply, simply rolls on. All right, let's talk a little bit here about the fasteners again when it comes to wood, all right? These are still fasteners. First off, we recommend against going with any type of a panhead screw like that one, or deck screw, all right? And the reason being, as you tighten that screw into its position, it's going to want to warp that metal out, all right? So it's important that you do use a hex head. We like this tech screw here, all right? Still 3/16 of an inch in diameter, all right? So it's gauged to 1.5 inches, all right? So basically here I've got that with that washer on the back side, and the washer is the key to me too, all right? A little extra, basically insurance against any kind of moisture penetration. Here we've got a metal one, and the only difference is on the back side of the metal. It's just a self-tapping screw. These are, again, available at the box stores, so easy to find, all right? Now, let's talk about some logistics here. This is a cool job, all right? It's got a lot of U-Cara going on this installation here, all right? We got a fire pit here. We got a perimeter seat wall. It's actually retaining, all right? All made out of U-Cara. We're in kind of an outdoor kitchen area, and there's some water features. Now the builder's coming in and constructing a pool house, all right? So the contractor that did the installation basically was given this as a finished structure. He's gonna come in and introduce U-Cara fascia panels into the installation, all right? So how is he gonna deal with that and handle any kind of moisture penetration? Well, what he did basically is apply a silicone bead, all right? In the midpoint of that fascia panel. So basically he's waterproofing this whole veneer system. So basically now every cross joint and bed joint, it's sealed off against moisture, all right? Now, his finished application is going to be a metal flashing, just below sheeting here, all right? But this is kind of a cool testimonial to, I think, the flexibility of the U-Cara system. So here we've got large backers supporting this raised patio area. Here we've got a standard backer installation that's supporting the seat walls, so he doesn't need to fabricate a handrail. But yet everything is tying in now to the structure itself. Finished job right here. So it's, to me, a unique opportunity I think all of us have when it comes to tying in the structures to the vertical features that we're all currently building. All right, this is an installation here that went on toward the beginning of February. And again, this is just a rubberized coating, all right? This veneer, this tan area, this gray area here, all right? And then the wall mount system, okay? Again, per every 8 feet of the U-Cara rail, we're gonna have 3 alignment strips at 32 inches on center, all right? One thing here, we've got the metal flashing, so any moisture that could potentially get inside of this is going to be able to wick itself out and not impact the long-term performance on that sheeting. One thing I'm going to key in on is this ledgestone piece here. That's kind of cool, and I'll show you how we did that. Because again, I want this veneer to match the material that we're going to build later on. All right. So to get that, we fabricated off a simple template here. All right. So using ledgestone, I'm harvesting the two ends, basically. All right. And then creating that channel so that it'll hang still on that rail. So it's certainly not, an option for you guys if you want to take advantage. But again, I was motivated to do that here on this installation, only to tie in my vertical features that I'm going to build in the spring to what we've done here. All right, here's another cross section of that in place. Recognize that if I didn't have it, I had a square cut, all right, I'd be relying on an adhesive bond here and then one up in there, all right? So by taking advantage of the rail, I think it secures this from any long-term movement. All right, and again, winter work. All right, this is kind of a simple square structure. All right, architecturally doesn't have much to it, but recognize the fact that when we come in and do our display around this, I'm going to develop planter walls on this corner. All right, I'm going to planter wall across the front to this front entry stoop, potentially a seawall or pillar off of that. So I'm going to enhance this basically simple building with my vertical features, and that's kind of the cool part about this wall mount system. There's a finished job right there as well. But again, good winter work. Take advantage of the opportunity that even this right here will give you. One thing that we did do on this, again, I've got my series accent in there with the ledgestone buff, all right? But recognize the fact that this went in, that it's 240 square face feet, went in with 2 guys in 3 days, all right? So quick and easy installation as well. Thank you guys, appreciate your time today.